'Twas the year 2017, and all was sickness and death. All around us pods were being taken apart and eviscerated by eminence abilities. Woe betide those who attempt to shuffle under my gaze, the gaze of eminence. Edgar is back. Let's take a look at some sweet vampires, some new vampires, some newer cards that synergize well with this fella, and some that don't. And we're just going to reminisce about vampires, buddy. Let's talk 15 sweet vampires for your commander decks. But first, you gotta subscribe to the channel, man. Ring that bell. There it is. You can show your friends at the cool fella party on Friday night. You can show your mom when you're flying on your private jet, dude. Hey mom, I subscribe to Better Commander. Edgar Markov, 3 red, white, and a black legendary creature vampire knight. It's a 4/4. Has eminence. Whenever you cast another vampire spell, if this guy is in the command zone or on the battlefield, create a 1/1 black vampire creature token. This guy has first strike and haste, and whenever he attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each vampire you control. So you have a few things going on here. There is that counters theme. The vamps are going to get big. He's got haste, so he can come down and bring the ruckus immediately. You also have token synergies. Any token doublers you picked up go great with this guy. Vampires also have a lot of incidental life gain synergies. You know, you may want to consider combos with Exquisite Blood or Bloodthirsty Conqueror. Now, the Dragon was $100 prior to his reprint back in Commander Masters. Came down to about $25 for a while. So if it was ever a dream of yours to set up an Edgar deck, now is the time, brother. Or, you know, maybe in a few weeks. Now, as any competitive player is going to tell you, the CEDH folks, aggro strategies are, you know, sometimes a little slow. You have to effectively whittle down 120 life from your 3 opponents. It's definitely doable, you know, especially if you get Edgar out early, start stacking counters. My paper deck is not very good. You know, hasn't been updated in forever. I don't really enjoy playing Edgar, to be honest with you. I need more draw slots in there. It runs out of gas real easily. But this deck kind of builds itself. Play a bunch of cheap vampires, bunch of draw. That's it, buddy. Anyways, let's take a look at some cool vampires, man. You know, I'm not going to tell you how to build Edgar, but I am going to talk about some of my favorite vamp and vamp adjacent Magic the Gathering cards. Alright, let's start with this sweet card from Caverns of Ixalan Commander, Master of Dark Rites. 1 black mana, creature vampire cleric. Has tap, sack another creature, add black, dude, that's that dark ritual. Spend this mana only to cast vampire, cleric, and or demon spells. So Edgar's in the command zone, right? You are powering out your dark spells with every little token that he plops out with his eminence ability. I gotta say too, man, the art on this is phenomenal. Give it up for Igor, buddy. And this card is very good, man. Welcoming Vampire, it's like $1. 2 and a white, creature vampire, it's a 2/3, has flying. Whenever one or more other creatures you control with power 2 or less enter, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. From the moment they arrived, wedding guests were met with a pageant of wealth and excess. That's like a Tuesday night at my house, dude. When I have 2 hot pockets instead of my usual 1 hot pocket, I toss in a damn pizza roll too, buddy. Wealth and excess all over the place. Interacts great with the eminence ability as well. So another popular sub-theme in these colors and vampire decks and in Edgar decks is Aristocrats, sacrificing creatures for love and profit and usually some drain. Cruel Celebrant is white and a black. For a creature vampire, it's a 1/2. Whenever this or another creature or planeswalker you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. So this is one of my favorites because it reminds me of my childhood and adolescence, you know, wine moms. That's the archetypal atavistic woman that I'm attracted to. Indolent, bored, drinking wine while the children play in traffic. Anyways, I'll get off the Freudian couch here and move along. In any case, this is a sweet Aristocrats payoff. Life gain decks love this guy, the Cliffhaven Vampire. 2 white and a black, creature vampire warrior ally. It's a 2/4 with flying. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Similar to Marauding Blight Priest. Honorable mention here too for that one. For 1 more white mana, you get a flyer though. I've used both in Aloro, another Eminence Nightmare. I just dig this guy's drip, man. He looks cool floating around up there. Look at the damn art on this card, dude. Creeping Bloodsucker, 1 and a black, creature vampire, it's a 1/2. At the beginning of your upkeep, Creeping Bloodsucker deals 1 damage to each opponent. You gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. Incredible damage dealer, great in decks that want opponents reliably losing life, like Abaddon and Belby, stuff like that, man. It's very efficient. Has that real Nosferatu vibe to it too, man. People used to call me Nosferatu because of my giant gonzo-like nose, but this art is incredible, dude. I've always been a fan of this card, Nurana Revant. 4 black, creature vampire shade, it's a 4/4. Whenever you tap a swamp for mana, add an additional black. As black, this gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Old art only, man. New art is bunk, dude. Let this lady be iconic. It's a horrifying card. Great in heavy black decks, maybe not in the Edgar decks, though. Speaking of heavy black decks, Vampire Nocturnus. 1 black, creature vampire, it's a 3/3. Play with the top card of your library revealed. As long as the top card is black, Vampire Nocturnus and other vampire creatures you control get +2/+1, have flying. Remember that lands are not colored, alright? They are colorless. Just remember that, dude. When you're on your first Tinder date with a sweet lady, remember to tell her that factoid. Somebody's getting lucky, that's all I'm saying. You have that knowledge. I have like 4 of these with this old art, man. This card is not great in Edgar, but it's a really neat old card, especially in heavy black decks. But then you have some Vein Witch Covens out here listening to The Cure in the Forest. Look at these guys. 2 and a black, creature, vampire, warlock. It's a 3/3 with menace. Whenever you gain life, you may pay black. If you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Love this in decks reliably gaining life. I just like how they look surprised, you know, like they were gathering somebody's Playboys hidden in a stump in the woods, you know. That's always where they were when I was a child, you know. The nudie mags, not the vampires. Null Priest of Oblivion. 1 and a black, creature, vampire, cleric. It's a 2/1. Has kicker, 3 and a black. Lifelink, menace. When this enters, if it was kicked, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Listen, brother, it's a neat little reanimator spell, and you're going to need these in an Edgar deck because everybody and their mom is going to be gunning for you. Look at that gorgeous art, man. This card is great. I don't care what Jimmy Wong says, alright? And next up is the Haunt of Hightower. This is about $2. 4 black, creature vampire. It's a 3/3, has flying and lifelink. When this guy attacks, defending player discards a card. Whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, put a +1/+1 counter on this guy. It drains vitality from those it touches. Alright, listen, 6 for 3/3. Come on, brother. But wait a minute. From anywhere, you say? Say more, brother, because this is bonkers in a mill deck. Hit that dude with a traumatize, and then this thing is bopping in for 40 damage. Maybe not great in an Edgar deck, but, you know. This card rocks, dude. The Bloodsworn Steward. 2 red, creature, vampire, knight. It's a 4/4 with flying. Commander creatures you control get +2/+2 and have haste. This guy has a horse, but it ain't for him. You know, it's for the commander. It's great in so many decks, but maybe not Edgar, because he's already got haste. I have a Greven deck, a Sir Gwyn deck that loves this guy. Thanks for the horse, buddy. I'm probably not going to eat the whole thing, but I'm glad you were thinking about me. Plus, this guy is a 4/4 with flying, kind of a beefy boy himself. Now, this card is a classic Nurana Revant Blood Chief. 3 black, legendary creature, vampire shaman. It's a 4/4 with flying. Has X black. Target creature gets -0/-X until end of turn, and Nurana gets +X/+0 until end of turn. This used to be a pretty prevalent mana sink in Commander. It is removal. It's Voltron. It flies. She's got that handful of flames, brother. Stoking the fire in my loins, dude. Be careful with them claws, man. You know what I'm saying? She's got them Cardi B nails, gotta be careful with those. So this card is great in Edgar decks because of all the little tokens that can help pay its cost. New Blood, 2 black for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, tap an untapped vampire you control. Gain control of target creature. Change the text of that creature by replacing all instances of one creature type with vampire. So if you have a little lord out there, you know, maybe your buddy's playing zombies, all zombies get +1/+1 or something, all zombies you control, change that to vampires. You know, this is a pretty dope card. I love it. Very slept on. Anyways, man, I just wanted to highlight some sweet vampires, some sleepers now that Edgar is back in the spotlight. Maybe you saw something you never did before. Maybe you had a chuckle and then your little golden retriever came up. You know, see what you were chuckling about. What are you laughing about over there, master? Pet the dog, man. Give that little bundle of parasites a snuggle. Let him lick inside your mouth, because that's better, Commander, dude. Nikki G, signing off.